We're almost there. We're at skill number 12 out of the 13, and this is showing percentage using a person icon. This was a question we got at the infographics workshop, and people said, I only want to show an icon of one person and show what percent of people are like that or do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go to our NeatArcs graphics library that we had created for the workshop. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And we have a slide that I had created based on that where you can edit and do that percentage. So in the case here, you can see that we have a male icon here and 23%, and then I have the graph here. So this is to make it as close to the actual 23% as possible. So what I did is I put my 0, which is at the very bottom of the icon, and the 100%, which is at the very top of the icon. They actually line up. And I have created a female one too, and these are just arbitrary numbers I put in, and then I did a fill, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is building on many different skills, one of which is inserting a graph in, which you can see they're already here. These are editable, so I can change that. Then and then creating your icon of a person, and what I did is then I combined them, and I removed the fill to be no fill, and then I kept the outline. And then we're going to have to create our new fills, which are going to be percentages. So in this case, I have one that's 13%. So let's go ahead and draw a shape over that. So I'm going to go ahead to shapes, and I'm going to draw a rectangle in this case. And first of all, though, let me zoom in. That'll make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to draw the shape over the top of that. And I don't like an outline, so I'm going to go to Format, No Outline. And the other thing is I'm going to use the transparency at this point, Format Shape. And since this one's a gradient, I would have to go to each of the colors and increase the transparency so I can see it. And you'll see why I need to increase the transparency on each one of these. So an easier way to do it is if I would have filled it originally with just a single color that wasn't gradient. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up. Since I need to do minor moves, I'm going to go ahead and holding the control key on my keyboard, I'm going to nudge it. And then the biggest thing is I want to make sure that the height is right. The height is still a little bit big, so if I double click on that to make sure I'm on that Format tab, and like I said, this is a height thing. So then I have these options on the far right hand corner, height and width. I'm going to just decrease this by 0.1 to make it 0.4. When I do that, really changed it. So I'm going to change 0.49. That's the way I should have done it. And that's closer. So that's the right height for 13%. Okay, so let me go back out. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and take the transparency off of each one of these colors. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up, this shape. And then I'm actually going to draw him over a little bit more in the size. I don't want to change the height, remember, because I only want to change the width because he's right at 13%. So then what I do again is duplicate this person, and you'll see why. So I'm going to click on the person and duplicate, and then I'm going to move them over. So what I want to do is I want to get the orange actually in the shape to fit his body. Since I want to keep the orange shape, I click on that one first, and then I click on the human shape. And it's not working because I grouped them instead of combined. So let me go here, and I have to ungroup, group, ungroup. Okay. So I'm going to click on the orange first because that's the one I want to keep. Click on the person, and then go to the Format tab, and then the Merge Shapes is available at that time. And then I look at the different options, and that'll tell me which one I want. And the one I want is intersect. I also have subtract available, but intersect is the one I want because I only want the area where both of those intersect. And that's why I had copied the person. So let me go ahead and delete these lines. I don't need these anymore in this case. These were individually drawn. And then what I do is I'm going to go ahead and move my person over that to line up. Just get it to line up till I feel like it's good. And then what I could do is I could delete this line if I wanted to, this one in the center. I just click on that one, get rid of it. And then I can insert a text box and type 13%. And then I can just put that there. I can choose whatever font I want. If I want it white, I can change the font to white to show up. So that's one way. And then what I can do is I can group all of these together. Let me show you for the kids. Let me show you the little girl because it's going to be a little bit different since her arms are stuck out the side and she also has a dress. So hers is a little bit different. So let me draw a shape again over that. And I just want to draw it over this one. And I'm going to go to format. And this one I'm going to do just a regular solid fill. I can do black. I can choose any color I want. Let me go with turquoise in this case to match what it is here. And then I'm going to go to the fill and increase the transparency. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to see how close I am. So I actually need this one, the height, a little bit bigger. So 9.4. Enter. And that looked like it did it right. To me, it was, I just guessed. That is correct. And so I would move my new little shape over the little girl. And I want to line it up. So what I can do is to make sure they're lined up together is I click on the little girl, I click on the shape. And in this case, since I want it at the bottom, because that's usually where graphs start, they go from the bottom to the top for a bar chart. I'm going to line bottom, make sure they're lined up along the same axis. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my shape out. Okay, and then I have my little girl and I'm going to click on her alone. So let me click out of that. I'm going to click on my little girl and duplicate. So I have her. As you can see, she's got a fill though. She's got a fill of the white. So I want to go ahead and change her fill to no fill. And I better do that on this one as well. No fill. Alright. So I want to keep my blue area, so I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to click on the little girl. And then I go to my merge shapes. And it was intersect was the one we wanted. So I'm going to choose that one. And then I have my little girl. And I put her over the top. Before I do that though, I can recolor this one. So I have the transparency on. I can get rid of that transparency. And that way the percent shows up a little bit better. And then I can insert my text box. I can put it wherever. Since people are drawn to the head, the face, I would probably put it there, 97%. And I'm going to change it to, white. Just resize it, and then let me As you can see there, now I have a little girl with 97%. So that's how you can make a percent of a person. I can do other things to the fonts. I can change it. I just want to make sure it fits in this case inside. So if I got it too big, I might have to put it in her dress area. And then also, like I said, is changing the font style I go with. And then I can nudge it over, move it over, and there we go. And I have my percent of a person now.